Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah,
This time, we're doing things a little differently.
a little different.
We're taking travel tips
That's right.
from a language learning podcast.
Yes,
It's called Fluent English Vibes.
exactly. And it's so interesting how they use travel scenarios and role-playing
Yeah,
to help people learn English.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like you're packing your suitcase
Uh-huh.
and a phrase book
You got it.
all at the same time.
Exactly.
And one of the places they take us is to hill stations.
Hill stations.
So for someone who's never been to a hill station
Right.
or doesn't even know what it is,
Okay.
what is it about hill stations?
Well, they offer this escape from, like, the busy life.
Okay,
You know, the everyday hustle and bustle. It's like this breathtaking view,
I see.
crisp mountain air.
Okay.
Slower pace of life. You can really relax and reconnect with nature.
So you're thinking
Yeah.
like the Swiss Alps,
The Swiss Alps, exactly.
the Himalayas.
The Himalayas.
Places like that.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even like the Blue Ridge Mountains here in the U.S.
Okay, yeah. So places where you just feel
Right.
that sense of peace
That's it.
and, getting away from everything.
Exactly.
I've always been drawn to places like that.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you ever had any memorable hill station trips?
Oh, definitely. I remember years ago, I was trekking through the Scottish Highlands.
Wow.
It was just rugged beauty.
Yeah.
The mist rolling in over the
It
hills.
sounds magical.
It was magical. It was
Yeah.
just like you're really feeling connected to something bigger
Uh-huh.
than yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's what draws people
I think so too.
to these places.
Yeah.
So you're going to a hill station.
Okay.
Fluent English Vibes, says
Yeah.
Backlight.
Pack light, but
But bring essentials.
right.
What are some of their must-haves?
Well, they say a good jacket because the weather can be so unpredictable.
Makes sense.
Up in the mountains,
Yeah.
comfortable shoes
Oh, yeah.
for all that walking,
You're going to be doing a lot of walking.
all the trails.
Yeah, you don't want blisters.
and the uneven terrain.
No.
Right.
You don't want to get caught in the rain
Exactly.
without a jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, bring a camera
Yes.
to capture all those stunning landscapes.
And did you do that?
Yeah, you got to get those pictures.
I was just thinking like a power bank
Oh, for sure.
would be key there.
Absolutely.
Because you're in these more remote areas.
Right.
Maybe you don't have access to electricity all the time.
Exactly.
And you want to be able to take pictures and navigate.
Exactly. A power bank is a must.
Okay, good.
A refillable water bottle.
Oh, right.
Stay hydrated,
Especially if you're hiking.
especially if you're active.
Okay.
Travel insurance just in case
That's a good point.
anything unexpected happens.
Yeah.
That peace of mind.
Did they talk about maps and GPS at all?
Yes, they suggest having a map
Oh.
or a GPS.
All right.
Even if you're sticking to those marked trails,
Right.
it's so easy to get turned around.
Oh, it is.
And having that reliable way
Yeah.
to find your way.
Find your bearings.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got jacket,
Shoes.
good shoes,
The shoe.
camera, power bank,
Power bank.
water bottle,
Water bottle.
travel insurance,
Travel insurance.
map or GPS.
Map or GPS.
Got it.
Okay.
Now I want to get into something that I think sparks a lot of debate.
Okay, let's hear it.
When it comes to travel,
Yeah.
should you plan everything out
Mm-hmm.
meticulously,
Right.
or should you leave room for spontaneity?
Oh, good question.
What does Fluent English Vibes say?
Well, they say you need a balanced approach.
Okay.
So they say have a general itinerary,
Okay.
you know, like an outline of the key sites, the
Okay.
activities you want to try.
Okay.
But they also emphasize leaving room for spontaneity.
Yeah, I think that's important
I agree.
because some of the best travel memories I have
Totally.
are unplanned.
Totally.
It's when you kind of go off the beaten path
Yeah.
and discover something new.
Right. Or you just take
Oh.
a detour.
Yeah. Have you ever had that happen to you?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I was exploring a coastal town in Italy once
Mhm.
and just stumbled upon
Yeah.
this local festival.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea it was happening.
Uh-huh.
The music, the food,
The energy.
the energy. Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
It was pure magic.
See?
And if I had stuck to my itinerary,
You would have missed it.
I would have totally missed it.
Now, Fluent English Vibes
Mhm.
uses role-playing
Yes.
as a way to help people get more confident
Mhm.
in using English
Mhm.
in real travel situations.
They create these scenarios
Yeah.
that travelers might actually encounter.
Okay.
And they encourage you to practice
Okay.
how you would react
Yep.
and communicate in those situations.
I love that.
It's great.
So there's one where you reach a hilltop.
Okay.
and you see this incredible view,
Right.
and they ask you, how would you react?
Yeah. What words would you use
Yeah.
to describe that feeling?
Like, put yourself in that moment
Exactly.
and think about
Yes.
what you would say.
And visualize it.
Yeah.
Put those emotions into words.
I like that a lot.
It's a really neat exercise.
It is.
Even if it feels silly at first.
Yeah. But it's like a mental rehearsal
It is.
for when you're actually there.
Exactly.
Now, that gets into the whole idea
Yes.
of language
Yes.
being more than just ordering food
So much more.
or asking for direction.
It's this bridge
Yeah.
that connects us
Yeah.
to the people and cultures
Yeah.
we encounter.
It's like, imagine you go to a local market.
Okay.
You could just point at things.
Right.
But if you could actually have a conversation
Right.
with the vendor, learn about what they're selling,
Yeah.
hear their stories,
It changes the whole thing.
it transforms
Yeah.
it from just a transaction
Yeah.
into this meaningful interaction.
I think that's what Fluent English Vibes
I think so too.
is getting at
Yeah.
with all this.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about
Okay.
that language learning aspect in the next segment.
Sounds good.
But before we move on,
Uh,
any other key takeaways?
from Fluent English Vibes,
Yeah.
they say, travel with confidence.
Yes.
Be open to new experiences and embrace the adventure.
Love that.
They emphasize that mindset
I think that's so key.
to travel.
Yeah, it's about embracing
Yeah.
the unknown.
Pushing your boundaries
Yes.
and being open
yes.
to new things.
New experience.
And I remember when I took my first solo trip abroad,
Oh, wow.
I was so nervous,
Yeah.
but I was also excited.
Right.
And I had my phrase book and I had a loose plan,
Okay.
but it was that
Yeah.
confidence that I think made it
Mhm.
such a good trip.
I agree.
It's like you have this inner compass.
It is.
Even when you go off the map,
Yeah.
it's guiding you.
Exactly.
And I think that's what Fluent English Vibes
Mhm.
is also trying to instill
I think so too.
through this language learning.
Yes.
Because when you can communicate
Yeah.
even a little,
Right.
it opens up so many possibilities.
It does.
You're not relying on other people to
Uh-huh.
translate or to help you navigate.
Exactly.
You can have conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
You can ask for directions.
You can order food.
Yeah.
You can handle those unexpected situations.
And that confidence then
Yes,
spills over
it does.
into other parts of travel.
Absolutely.
Like you're more likely to try new foods.
Yes, try new things.
Talk to people you don't know.
Talk to strangers.
Explore different places.
Explore.
So it's not just about language.
Right.
It's about that mindset
That's it.
that language learning can foster.
Exactly.
So we'll talk more about the specifics of that in the next segment.
Looking forward to it.
But in the meantime, I want to leave you with a question.
Yeah.
Think about your own travel experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most valuable phrase you've learned
In another language.
in another language?
I like it.
And why has it stuck with you?
That's a good one.
And we'll be back
We'll be back.
to talk more about Fluent English Vibes.
Yes, we will.
Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing to explore these travel tips.
Yes.
Inspired by Fluent English Vibes.
That's right.
And in the last segment,
Uh-huh.
we were talking about language
Yes.
as this bridge
The bridge.
to deeper connection.
Deeper connection.
And I think that's something Fluent English Vibes really emphasizes.
You do.
Like, it's not just about
Yeah.
communication. It's
Right.
more than that.
So much more.
It's a way to connect with people, share stories, understand different perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and really immerse yourself
Yeah.
in the culture.
In a culture.
Imagine, like, you're at a local market. You could just point at things.
Point and gesture.
Right. But what if you could actually talk
Yes.
to the vendor,
Absolutely.
learn about their craft,
Yes.
hear their stories?
Completely changes the experience.
It does.
Uh,
It becomes something
Easy.
so much more special.
So meaningful.
But I think that's what Fluent English Vibes is getting at
Yes.
with the role playing,
Or role playing.
to help people get ready
Yeah.
to have those kinds of interactions.
Absolutely.
And they're not saying you have to be fluent
No, not at all.
in the language.
Just a few phrases
Right.
can make a world of difference.
And show that you're making an effort.
Exactly.
It shows respect.
It shows respect.
I've definitely found that to be true.
Me too.
Even just a few words
Yeah.
can really open doors
Yeah. Absolutely.
to those kinds of interactions.
It breaks down barriers. It
Yeah.
creates connections.
It's like you're saying,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not just a tourist.
Right.
I'm actually interested
You're interested in the culture.
in the culture.
Yeah.
So it's not about becoming fluent overnight.
Right.
It's about embracing the process
Yes.
of learning
Embracing the learning process.
and using whatever you have
Exact.
to enhance the experience.
Travel experience.
And Fluent English Vibes
Yeah.
had some tips
Oh, they did.
for how to do that.
Okay, what were they?
Like active listening,
Active listening.
paying attention to how people speak,
Yeah,
how they pronounce words,
Right.
and not being afraid to make mistakes.
Right. Not being afraid to make mistakes.
I used to be so self-conscious
I know.
about speaking other languages.
Yeah, it's so common.
But then I realized
Right.
mistakes are part of it.
They are a part of the process.
And sometimes those mistakes
yeah.
can lead to some pretty funny stories.
Oh, they do.
Like I remember this one time.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
I was trying to order coffee in a small village in France.
Okay. In France.
And I completely messed up
Oh, no.
the pronunciation
Uh-huh.
and the barista. And I
Yeah.
ended up just laughing.
Laughing about it. That's great.
And it created this connection.
It did.
And it lightened the mood.
It did. It lightened the mood.
And I think that's the beauty of it.
I agree.
Those moments
Yes.
of shared laughter,
Shared laughter.
they really transcend
They do.
any language barrier.
They really do.
But having even just a little bit
Right.
of the language
A little bit.
can be that foundation
That foundation. Yes.
for those moments to happen.
Absolutely.
And it can also make
Mhm.
the practical stuff
Right. The practical stuff.
easier,
Easier.
like ordering food, asking for directions.
Yeah. Or like
Yeah.
if you have an unexpected situation, being able to communicate effectively,
It can really reduce stress
it can reduce stress a lot.
and give you that confidence
And give you that confidence.
to keep going.
Absolutely.
So it's like you were saying,
yeah.
language can empower you
Empower you to be a more
to be a more adventurous traveler.
adventurous traveler. That's it.
So before we move on to the next segment,
Okay.
I want to ask our listeners,
Okay.
think back to your own travels.
Uh-huh.
What's the most valuable phrase
Oh, that's a good question.
you've learned in another language?
Okay.
And why has it stuck with you?
I like that question a lot.
We'd love to hear
Yeah.
your answers.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back to talk
Well,
more
sweeter.
about Fluent English Vibes. We're back and ready for the final part of our deep dive with Fluent English Vibes.
I'm excited to wrap things up.
We've covered so much great advice,
Yeah, we have.
from packing essentials to
Yeah.
the importance of language.
Yeah.
So before we go, is there one final takeaway
From the podcast. Yeah.
that you think sums up the spirit of adventurous travel? I think it's that idea of traveling with confidence
Okay.
that Fluent English Vibes kept coming back to.
Uh-huh.
It's not just about knowing phrases
Right.
or having the perfect itinerary.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the unknown
I love that.
with an open mind
Yeah.
and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone.
I remember my first solo trip abroad.
Oh, wow.
I was nervous,
Yeah?
but excited.
Right.
I had my phrase book
Uh-huh.
and a loose plan,
Okay.
but it was that confidence
Yes.
that really
Well, here.
made the trip amazing.
It's like having an inner compass
Yeah.
that guides you even when you go off the map.
And Fluent English Vibes is reinforcing that.
Through their approach to language learning,
Yeah.
they're giving listeners tools to communicate,
Uh-huh.
and that empowers them to be more confident travelers.
It's like when you can communicate,
Yeah.
even a little,
Even a little.
it opens up so many things.
It does. You don't have to rely on others. You
Right?
can talk to locals,
Yes.
ask for directions,
Order food.
handle unexpected situations.
And that feeling of accomplishment
Yeah.
when you navigate a new city.
Right.
Or order a meal in another language.
Boost your confidence.
It does.
And it makes you feel like you can handle anything.
It does.
So it's not just language itself.
Right.
It's the mindset that comes with it.
Exactly.
That openness to learning,
Mhm.
embracing challenges,
Yes.
trusting
To
yourself.
navigate the unfamiliar.
And those are qualities that apply to so much more than just travel.
I agree.
So as we wrap up,
Okay.
what's the one piece of advice?
You would give to our listener.
Yeah, as they plan their next adventure.
Pack your curiosity,
Yeah.
your sense of adventure,
Uh-huh.
and that confidence in yourself.
Love it.
Embrace the unexpected.
Yeah.
Be open to new experiences.
Yes.
And remember that the most enriching journeys
Mm-hmm.
are often the ones that take us off the map.
That's beautifully said.
Thank you.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
It has.
And it shows that travel tips
Yeah.
can come from anywhere.
They can.
A language learning podcast.
Right.
Who knew?
It's a reminder that learning and exploration go hand in hand.
They do.
And that willingness to step outside your comfort zone
Yes.
is what makes life and travel so enriching.
A huge thanks to Fluent English Vibes.
Yeah.